The night she said she needed space, I handed her the keys and smiled. She didn't know I had already discovered her affair. 14 days later, she came back begging, but I wasn't the same man. I'd prepared something she would never forget. Let's begin. There's something about betrayal that makes the air feel colder, even in summer. When Taylor Carter, 30, watched the corners of his live-in girlfriend's lips curl into a secret smile while her phone buzzed during their Friday movie night, he didn't say a word. The notification from Instagram had flashed for a second. Noah Reynolds followed you. But it was enough. She flipped her phone over quickly, unaware that he saw both the name and the expression she wore, one he hadn't seen in weeks. Her name was Alana Hughes, 28. They had lived together for 3 years in a modest but cozy 2-bedroom condo in Charleston, South Carolina. Shared bank account, her name on his car insurance, and his on her gym membership. Everything was tangled together. Finances, lives, even their grocery list. But lately, things had shifted. New lingerie tags appeared in their laundry. She suddenly loved happy hours she never used to attend. Her phone never left her side. Taylor, a man who preferred facts over feelings, had already noticed. So when she said, "I need some space to think about us," he didn't argue. "I understand," he replied. "Why don't you stay at your sister's for a few days? Might help you clear your head." She blinked, caught off guard by his calm. Really, he said, standing up and handing her a bag he had packed earlier, just in case. That night, she left. He didn't sleep. Instead, he started pulling threads. Taylor was a logistics analyst. Detail was his profession. He opened their shared bank account and began compiling transactions from the last 2 years. Alana had promised to contribute $600 monthly. Taylor, $1,200. But the records told a different story. Over time, her deposits became inconsistent. Some months, just $100. Other months, nothing. Yet she always managed to show up with new dresses, upgraded accessories, salon appointments. Next, he removed her from his car insurance. Saved $95 monthly. Called their internet provider. Canceled the premium streaming package she insisted on. Then, he pulled the lease from his files. His name only. She had never added herself. Day 3, her Instagram lit up with a selfie from a wine bar. Noah had liked it in less than 2 minutes. Day 5, her sister texted, "You two okay?" Taylor replied, "She's taking some space. I'm giving it." Day 7, she messaged, "Did you pay the utility bill? I transfer my half. Let me know if you see any issues." She left him on read. Day 10, his doorbell camera pinged at 2:13 a.m. Alana's white sedan pulled into the lot. Parked. Stayed for 10 minutes. Then left. Her sister's house was 40 minutes in the opposite direction. He saved the footage. Day 12, she posted a photo wearing earrings Taylor didn't recognize. Noah left a comment. She replied with a heart. Taylor didn't feel anger anymore. Only clarity. Day 14, a text. "Can we talk? I thought you needed space," he replied. "I've had time to think. I miss you." That night, she walked into the apartment like nothing had changed. "Why haven't you answered my messages?" she asked, putting her keys down on the table he bought. "I've been busy. Thinking, like you asked me to." She sat across from him, at the kitchen table. The one she'd eaten dinner at every night for 3 years. "I made a mistake. I want to come home." He nodded. "What kind of mistake?" "I needed clarity. I realize you're the one I want. Not Noah." So he was part of it. "No," she said too quickly. "He's just an old friend. We were catching up." "Then why was your car in the lot at 2 a.m. last Tuesday?" he asked, pulling up a pause frame from the footage. She froze. "I came to grab a few clothes," she muttered. "Why didn't you come in?" Silence. Then she tried again. "We've been together for 3 years. You're really throwing this away over a misunderstanding?" "No," he said, calmly sliding papers across the table. "I'm ending it because I've finally done the math." He showed her the bank statements. Her total, $8,700. His, over $27,000. That didn't include car insurance, groceries, streaming services, all on his credit card. "You make more than me," she said defensively. "I never cared about that. I cared about being lied to." Then came the final paper, a 30-day notice to vacate. Her jaw dropped. "You can't kick me out. You're not on the lease. Legally, you're a guest." She stood, shaking. "You'll regret this. You'll never find someone who loves you like I do." "I hope not," Taylor replied. She stormed out. Minutes later, a familiar white Civic peeled away from the lot. Taylor leaned back, breathed. For the first time in weeks, the air felt warmer. But the storm was just beginning. 3 days after Alana stormed out, Taylor received an envelope at his office, thick, cream-colored, and stamped with the name of a local law firm, Reynolds, Keith and Maynard. The sender? Keith Monroe, attorney at law, hired by none other than Alana's father. The letter was dripping with passive-aggressive legalese. According to Keith, Alana had established legal residency in the apartment and was therefore entitled to fair notice and compensation for her non-monetary contributions. In other words, Taylor couldn't just kick her out, not without a fight. Taylor didn't panic. Instead, he called his own lawyer, Carol Whitman, a sharp, unflinching woman with steel-gray hair and a zero-tolerance policy for emotional manipulation. "Let me guess," she said dryly after reading the letter. "She's playing the 'I made his house a home' card." Taylor chuckled grimly. "Something like that. She's not the first," Carol muttered. "But we'll play chess, not checkers." Carol sent a reply that was a masterpiece of legal pressure. Attached was a spreadsheet of every dollar deposited in the joint account. 2 years of hard proof. Taylor had contributed over 75% of the finances, documented and notarized. Carol also included a sworn affidavit stating Alana had voluntarily moved out, removed her essentials, and hadn't stayed overnight in the apartment for 17 straight days. That changed Keith's tune. Within 48 hours, he reached back, mediation. Virtual, private, quick. Taylor agreed. The Zoom call was surreal. Alana appeared on screen from her childhood bedroom, wearing the navy dress Taylor had bought her for their 3rd anniversary. She looked soft, clean makeup, hairstyled. Her father, Frank Hughes, sat beside her, looking as uncomfortable as a man in a dentist's chair. Keith, the lawyer, opened. "My client is willing to vacate within 30 days, provided Mr. Carter offers a modest compensation for her emotional investment and non-financial contributions." Carol, sipping her coffee, didn't flinch. Her client contributed less than a quarter to all expenses. "We have records. The furniture, electronics, decor, all purchased by my client. Her client's contributions are emotional at best. And unfortunately, emotion isn't currency." Then came Alana's twist. "I just want my grandmother's ring back," she said, voice trembling. "He has it in his safe." Taylor raised an eyebrow. "Of course. It's hers. She can take it when she collects her belongings." Keith looked disappointed. Clearly, they'd been hoping for a battle over the ring. Eventually, they settled on a figure, $500. Taylor would wire it from the joint account in exchange for her complete departure and legal release of all claims. After the call ended, Frank stayed behind for a moment. "I'm sorry about all this," he said quietly. "She's not who she used to be." Taylor just nodded. "I know. I lived with her." The next day, Jenna's friend Maria reached out. "I didn't know. I thought you were controlling." "That's what she told me." Taylor replied with a screenshot of 3 transactions labeled girls' night, shopping, spa gift. Maria replied, "I feel like such an idiot." That night, Taylor was cleaning out the hallway closet when he found an old velvet box tucked behind a stack of winter scarves. His breath caught. He opened it. An engagement ring. Simple, elegant, a classic solitaire. The kind Alana had always said she wanted. He'd bought it 6 months ago, after months of saving, back when he believed in forever. He hadn't even realized he still had it. The timing was cruel, ironic, poetic, and somehow, it didn't hurt like he thought it would. Alana texted at 11:17 p.m. that night. "Please, I love you. I made a mistake. No, it was just a fantasy." Taylor looked at the velvet box sitting beside his laptop. He typed, "You engineered a break to explore that fantasy. Don't rewrite the story." "It wasn't like that," she replied. "Then explain what it was." No answer. Just the familiar ellipsis. Then nothing. He closed his laptop. The silence felt final. But there was one more scene left to play. Saturday morning arrived like a storm cloud, gray, heavy, and charged with tension. Taylor had taken the day off work. His brother, Logan, and best friend, Marcus, were already at the apartment sipping black coffee and waiting for the show to begin. And like clockwork, at 9:02 a.m., a white U-Haul pulled into the lot. Alana stepped out wearing leggings, oversized sunglasses, and a stiff expression. Behind her, climbing from the passenger seat, was Noah. Taylor didn't blink. Logan cracked his knuckles. Marcus smirked. Noah puffed his chest slightly, until Marcus, who trained MMA part-time and stood at an imposing 6 feet 4 inches, gave him a single raised brow. Whatever courage Noah had inflated in the car vanished. He deflated like a balloon at a toddler's birthday party. Alana walked in holding a list. I need my grandmother's ring, my clothes, the kitchen stuff. Taylor interrupted. Which kitchen stuff? She glanced down. The air fryer. The Instant Pot. I bought those. Taylor held up her receipts. Both purchased before we met. Mine. You can take the blender. That was yours. She narrowed her eyes. The coffee maker, then. That one's mine. So is the couch, the TV, and the succulents. You're really going to be petty about plants? No. I'm being clear. Midway through, her father Frank showed up, hands in pockets, looking weary. Alana, he said gently, just take your things and go. He's being unreasonable. Frank gave the room a long, tired glance. At the packed living room, the walls filled with Taylor's photos and memorabilia, and a small corner of boxes that represented Alana's life here. Is he, though? He said quietly. Alana didn't answer. Instead, she packed in silence. 7 boxes. 3 suitcases. 2 years condensed into fragments of her former presence. Taylor didn't flinch as she passed through each room, though every step felt like a rewind of their relationship in fast forward. Then came the bedroom. Taylor followed her in and opened the safe. He pulled out a small black box and handed it to her. Her grandmother's ring. Alana stared at it, closing her fingers around it like it was the only thing grounding her to reality. But Taylor's fingers brushed against something else in the back of the safe. Velvet. Another box. Her eyes caught his pause. What's that? He hesitated. Nothing. But she stepped closer. Saw the box. Her mouth parted. You were going to... Taylor opened it. The engagement ring glimmered, simple and perfect. She gasped. You were really going to propose? 6 months ago, he said softly. Before you decided a recycled romance with a man who ghosted you twice was more exciting than our future. Her face crumbled. Not the dramatics she had faked before. These tears were real. Her body shook. I didn't know. I didn't think. You didn't think I was serious. But I was. When? I planned to ask you on your birthday. That weekend at the lake house. I screwed up, she sobbed. Can we start over? Taylor shook his head. No, Alana. You took something fragile and dropped it just to see who would pick up the pieces. But I did. I picked them up, and I built something stronger. Without you. She reached out to touch the ring, but stopped herself. Her fingers curled. Her lips trembled. She took her boxes and her ring. She didn't ask about the engagement one again. As the last item was loaded into the U-Haul, she turned one last time. For what it's worth. I'm sorry. Are you sorry for what you did, or for getting caught? She couldn't answer. Noah honked. Taylor didn't wave. After they drove off, Taylor sat on the apartment floor, knees up, arms resting, the velvet box open beside him. Logan tossed him a beer. You okay? I will be. Marcus looked around. You know, this place feels bigger. Taylor smiled. It finally feels like mine. And for the first time in a year, he didn't feel like a man waiting for love. He felt like a man making room for something better. The apartment had never felt so empty, yet so full of possibility. With Alana gone, Taylor moved fast. He repainted the living room, replaced the beige couch she'd insisted on with a deep navy sectional that actually fit the space. He ordered a new bed, one he chose without compromise. For the first time in years, his home didn't feel like a negotiation. It felt like a reflection. But the wounds weren't superficial. Taylor started therapy, not because he felt broken, but because he needed to understand why he had ignored so many red flags. His therapist, a calm and direct man named Dr. Ray Parker, helped him dig. You didn't ignore the signs, Dr. Parker said in one session. You painted them green because you wanted her to be the one. You wanted the dream so badly. You tolerated the nightmare. That hit hard. Meanwhile, Alana wasn't done. 1 week after the move-out, Taylor received a final text. I know you hate me, but I hope someday you'll forgive me. He didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. The $500 agreement was wired. The joint bank account officially closed. He stood at the bank branch counter, signing a closure form that felt less like paperwork and more like a gravestone for a failed era. But something curious happened that afternoon. A ping on his phone. A message from Maria. Maria, Alana's former best friend. Hey. Her today was the day. You okay? He replied, I'm okay. Better than I thought I'd be. Wine's on me tonight, if you feel like being somewhere that doesn't echo. That night, they met at a rooftop bar downtown. The view was crisp, the breeze was clean, and the conversation was easy. I feel so stupid, Maria said, nursing her glass. She made you sound like some jealous control freak. Said you wouldn't let her breathe. Taylor raised an eyebrow and pulled up 3 screenshots on his phone. Transfers labeled girls' night, shopping, and spa. All sent to Alana. Maria blinked. Wow. Yeah, Taylor said, chuckling. Turns out controlling looks a lot like spoiling when you delete the context. They laughed, and it wasn't forced. Over the next few weeks, Maria and Taylor talked more. Walks, lattes, movie nights. Nothing official. Just 2 people who knew what betrayal looked like and craved something more authentic. One morning, he woke to a LinkedIn notification. Alana Hughes viewed your profile. Taylor had just posted about a promotion, senior logistics manager, a new company car, stock options, the kind of life Alana always claimed she wanted. No message, no comment, just digital silence with a bitter aftertaste. Logan joked, she's watching, regretting. Taylor shrugged. Let her. A week later, another update rolled in. Ashley, Noah's now ex-girlfriend, sent Taylor a message. So, you were right. About all of it. He was lying to both of us. She attached a screenshot of Noah's story. Single life it is. Some people can't handle the truth. Ashley added, he told people you and Alana had been broken up for months, that she was crazy about him. Taylor responded with a simple image, Alana's text saying, please, I love you. I made a mistake. Ashley didn't need more. Neither did Taylor. Meanwhile, word spread. Alana's lies collapsed under their own weight. HR complaints from Ashley about fake sick days snowballed into an internal review. Within a month, Alana was let go. Frank later confirmed she was living at home again, finding herself. Taylor didn't celebrate. He didn't gloat. He just breathed. His mornings were now his own. Oatmeal with cinnamon. Quiet music. A book instead of background drama. The plants on the balcony thrived. No one to overwater them. No one to criticize the pots he picked. Maria texted one evening. You know, it's really refreshing to not wonder where someone is, or who they're with. He smiled. Yeah, it's rare, and beautiful. And slowly, the broken man who once held onto a velvet box began to believe in new beginnings again. But one final confrontation still lingered. One more reckoning. 3 months had passed since Alana's departure, but ghosts don't always knock. Sometimes, they hover silently behind screens. It was late evening when Taylor received the final echo of the past, a friend request. From Alana. No message, just the quiet, persistent signal of someone peering into a life they no longer belong to. He didn't accept, didn't deny either. Just let it sit, like a photograph in a drawer you're not ready to shred, but won't ever frame again. That same night, he got a call from Frank. She asked for your ring, Frank said. Not the family one, the other one. She found out about it. Taylor paused. She never saw it. How does she know? Maria told her, Frank admitted. She thought it might bring closure. Taylor leaned back on the couch, staring at the velvet box resting in his bookshelf drawer. Still unopened since that day. She lost the right to that ring, Taylor said gently. She didn't just walk away from the proposal. She broke the version of me that bought it. Frank sighed. I figured. I just told her I'd ask. You did, Taylor said. That's enough. He hung up. Later, he opened the box one last time. Looked at the ring. The shimmer still strong. Unworn. Untouched. He drove to the same jeweler he bought it from. A small boutique off King Street. The owner, Melissa, remembered him. It's a beautiful piece, she said. We can repurchase it or redesign it if you'd like. Taylor stared at the band. He could see himself, the old him, reflected in the cut. No, he finally said. Let someone else build a future with it. Someone who deserves it. The cash offer was good. More than half back. He signed the paperwork and left lighter than he'd felt in years. He stopped by the coffee shop where Maria worked part-time. She looked up from behind the counter and grinned. You look like a man who just got rid of something heavy. Something like that, he said, sliding into a booth. They talked until close. About books, life, her disastrous ex, his newfound love of solitude. There were no sparks, no grand declarations. Just ease, honesty, stability. The things Alana always claimed she wanted, but never really respected. That night, they walked together in the crisp Charleston air. He didn't reach for her hand. She didn't lean in, but something in the silence between them felt promising. Days turned into weeks. Taylor's career soared. He redecorated, traveled, laughed more, slept better. Life slowly became his again, in full color. Then one ordinary Tuesday afternoon, his phone buzzed. A LinkedIn alert. Alana Hughes viewed your profile. The timing was poetic. Taylor had just posted a promotion announcement. Director of Regional Operations. It came with equity, bonuses, a signing bonus, and relocation options. Her view? Silent. No message. No comment. Just proof that she saw what she lost. That she left something real for nostalgia. For a man whose Instagram captions were more mature than his actions. And Taylor? He didn't need revenge anymore. Because his life was the revenge. Because the best revenge isn't destruction. It's elevation. It's thriving while they stumble. It's rising while they regret. He poured himself a glass of wine, kicked back in his living room filled with books and calm, and sent one last message to himself. Don't ever ignore red flags again, even if you love the person waving them. His phone buzzed again. Maria. Pizza night still on. Wouldn't miss it. The velvet box was gone. But his peace. It was finally home.